Alright, chaps, we've got a London double bill going on. My opponent here is Yash Pathak 925, rated 1125 here from India, and we're going London. So I just did one against somebody rated a little bit lower, just under 1,000, and we played the London because why not? And now we have the same thing again. So, and again, he's played like the modern King's Indian approach. So I'm going to play fairly normal. I'm going to develop my bishops actually first here. Right, so you might be thinking about this, which is fine. I'm going to play c4 again, like I did in the previous one. Why? Because I'm just controlling more of the centre. My intention is to castle short anyway. I can now put my knight behind the pawn, and we've got extra control over these squares, you see. If this pawn was back here, I'd have one piece, which is my knight, looking at those squares. But now I've got those squares defended twice. This is all defended. Bishop's defending everything. It is a really solid setup. So, if you're a beginner, improving player, should you learn the London system? Yes, absolutely. Why not? Knock yourself out if you enjoy it. If you, I do recommend looking up a video where Hikaru teaches Pokimane how to attack with the London system. That's really, really good. Well worth watching. The London system has a reputation of maybe being a bit solid and a bit dull, but I don't think that's necessarily true. You can attack with any system. So my opponent here is taking his time. I mean, it's not exactly like he's out of book at this point. E6 is probably perfectly fine. Bring the knight out is perfectly fine. Castles is perfectly fine. I just haven't played the London in ages. A man can lose himself in London. Lose himself. Lose himself. Lose himself in London. Song quote. You've got to be of a certain age to remember that one. Is anyone going to get that? 7,500 followers. Don't know. Don't know. So it's probably a film quote first, but it was then like sampled in a song in about 1992. Right, opponent's disappeared. Have you disappeared, opponent? Yash Pathak 925. Well, if you have, we're going to have to find another game. Here's a 10-minute unrated. Let's see if this guy wants to go. So we've now got 2 games on the go. Yay! Right. Also unrated, 816, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. Okay, and I'm going to play the Latvian Gambit. Why? Because it's an unrated game and I fancy a bit of practice. Okay, they take the pawn and we push. Because this pawn's currently undefended and attacked, i.e. hanging. So we push the pawn, hit the knight. The knight can really, yeah, it can go back, it can go there as well. It can go there as well. And here we play Queen f6. Yeah, Yash Pathak has disappeared and will auto-resign in 25 seconds. Thanks for the game, GG. Right, so I'm hitting the knight now. The knight is the only defender of the pawn, I'm hitting that too. So what he's going to do is he's going to defend the knight. Of course he is. Of course he is. Now d5 is perfectly good. Here, I think knight c6 as well is playable, but let's play principle, control the centre with d5 and also open up this bishop against this. Goodbye, Yash Pathak 25. Sorry, Max, busy. Bit busy, my son. Right now. This is to be expected. Now, I can take the bishop. He may take my knight. Do I get cheeky and, like, kick the knight away? Let's have a think about this. I haven't ruined my castling rights. Kick the knight away. You can go there or there, and he's out of anyone's way. You can go there. He can't go there or there or there. I'm going to do it. I'm doing it. I'm not scared of the queen coming here because I can block with bishop, I can block with knight. I'm going to harass this horse. And he's got to go all the way back to one of these squares where he's no danger to anyone and just simply getting in everyone's way. And then I might capture here, or I might also play knight c6 and just de-encourage the queen from ever wanting to come out there. Although, oh no, she can. Coffee's starting to kick in anyway. Made 2 blunders, probably 3 I would say in that first game. So I need a whole who's the daddy of this weak ass coffee. Right, Latvian Gambit. So he's come back here now. He's looking at this pawn that is defended. Right, simple stuff. Knight here, perfectly good move, perfectly sound move. Now, you may say to yourself, well, shouldn't you grab the pawn because he has the opportunity now of playing g4? But I don't mind if he plays g4. I think I'd be perfectly happy if he plays g4. I've even got queen takes actually. But which is better, queen takes or bishop takes? Bishop takes. Why? Because you're developing a piece at the same time. I'm going to take the bishop actually, because it just puts a second attacker on here. I can still play this at my leisure. I want to get my bishop out, probably there, knight behind it, get castle, happy days. He says. Alright, so we have captures. Now, I can recapture with the bishop, I can recapture with a pawn, or I can do nothing at all, or even play something like that and pin the pawn against the king. I'm going to capture the bishop though. I don't mind that. If he does this, I'd be even tempted to take the knight and just destroy his castling rights on the queen side after he's already messed up his own ideas on the king side, yeah? Or I could just drop back. Oh, hello. Hello. You took a pawn. Did you think it was undefended? Bishop takes knight, mate in one threat. See, calm, relaxed. My first thought was, oh, what, did I leave a pawn hanging? And then I looked. Rule number 1 in chess, first thing to do, nothing. First do nothing. Look at the board. Your opponent may have blundered. Happens a lot. Happens at every level. Okay, actually the pawn can't take my bishop because that is still checkmate, you see, so again, chilling, we're just chilling. We're chilling. Right, what do I want to play knight here? De-encourage this idea. Do I want to play knight here? Yeah, let's get castled, sod it, let's get castled. You can't take the pawn, that would be another blunder. Queen f2 is checkmate, the king has no squares. In it. Boom, checkmate, simple. You see the point of just relaxing. And there will be some bugger in the comments who says, I play at this level, right? And my opponents never play that badly. Yes, they do. Yes, they bloody do. Right, let's go Vienna. I've not been to Vienna for a little while. We'll go to Vienna. A lot of players at this level just no idea what to do. So they'll play normal developing move. Very often knight f6. Thinking opposite knights, why not, right? Vienna Gambit now, f4. If he takes, that's a mistake. Oh, but it's a free pawn. And this is very, very similar to what we just did in the previous game, remember? So we played the king's pawn out, and then we played the king's bishop's pawn out, okay? And now we do exactly the same thing. This is what I like about the Latvian Gambit. So if you're a Vienna player, okay, consider the Latvian. It's like a reversed King's Gambit or Vienna Gambit. And now his knight's got a problem, right? So, okay, well, that loses the knight, you see? No, it's exactly the same in the previous game. The knight's only real safe square here is to go back there. Now, in the Vienna, because my knight's here, he also couldn't actually advance to either of these squares like he did in the previous game. Okay, he's attacking my queen. I'm going to drop back. Just going to drop back here, I think. Oh, all the way there, I don't know. Let's go here. I'm up a piece already. This town is coming like a ghost town. Hanging pawn. So instead of grabbing the pawn now, right, trying not to be an infant. You see, an infant, you go, ooh, what's this? They go, and they put it in their mouth and bite it. They think that anything that an adult or an elder gives to them is something to put in their mouth. We do that a lot in chess. We go, oh look, hanging free stuff, and we just grab it. Right? Sometimes it's the right thing to do. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it ain't. Now, I could hit the knight, but that undefends his pawn. No point doing that, although I could then drop back and pin the knight, but then I can't attack the knight with a pawn because I haven't got any pawns left around here. So, we're not going to do that. I can defend with this. I can defend with queen here. I can defend with knight there. I'll just do that. I think I'll do that. It means I've got a horrible light squared bishop. But don't worry. Because pieces move, you know? One thing you can be sure of in chess, pieces move. See, okay, there's an en passant option. I think I'm just going to take with the bishop, right? Take with the bishop, defend this pawn. This is defended, this is defended. Okay, that's the decorators turned up. Now when I castle, my rook is defending this pawn, and that releases this knight to go on about his day. Yeah? Now, nice setup for white. I'm quite happy with this. Quite happy with this. Okay, he's come down to attack my knight. No worries. I'm going to kick that. Reason is that this bishop is prevented from coming and annoying me on the light squares because of that pawn on d5. So, you want to take this. Happy days. Thank you very much. I am quite content now. This bishop's going to fly out here and pin this knight. Yeah. So 800 players play like 800 players. Maybe they do it. They play a bit worse against somebody who's several hundred points high rated. I don't know. Do they get tight and freeze up? I don't know. I tend to play best around my own rating. I struggle a bit against much weaker players, and I also tend to get sometimes a bit nervous against much stronger players. Players a bit stronger kind of tends to spur me on a bit to do my best. But isn't it interesting how, you know, and this is the whole point of the Kruger repertoire. The Freddy Kruger repertoire is all based around the f-pawn. Okay, so bishop comes out here now, pinning the knight against the king. I am up in material, so I haven't got any worries. Bishop down here might be interesting. It prevents the king from castling that way. Really, really don't have a care in the world at this point in time. Two defenders on that, two attackers. Okay, let's just start coming up to mess stuff up on this side. His bishop is not good because it can't actually get anywhere. But what it is doing is defending these central pawns. So I'd like to get in g4, takey, checky matey kind of ideas. You can tell I'm starting to get a bit flippant, but I am in a very strong position here. I'm up a full piece, and again we have blundering a piece. We saw it in the last game. Do your opponents do that? Yes, they do. Do people at 1600 do it? Yes, they do. So don't be coming over here with all this talk about, you play an 800, you play a 500. 500s never play that badly against me. Yes, they bloody do. Okay. So now, we're up 2 materials. No reason to sacrifice the bishop. Let's bring it back here. I just prefer that's defended square. I mean, this is also defended, but it's only defended by pieces. Oh, actually, does that lose my rook? Hang on. With this of rook here, there. Yeah, I think I've made life somewhat difficult for my own little rook. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to sack my bishop. I'm going to sack it in return for 2 pawns. If he takes, I just recapture with a knight, yeah? And then I can put my knight here, which is an outpost, means it can't be harassed by pawns. But yeah, the whole Kruger repertoire. Oh, what? It's a free piece. It was a free piece. I gave it to you freely. Okay, where's my bishops? I'm going to shove my bishop back here. Prevent this pawn from advancing. He's got this, but that's all right. That doesn't work. That's nice. Forces the rook to here or here. Okay, this is all right. Drop all the way back. I think. Drop all the way back. I now have 3 attackers on this pawn. Notice. So I could have taken with a rook. Bishop takes, knight takes, defended, and then knight comes in here. That's absolutely fine. But I can do this now anyway. Yeah. If he takes, I just take back. Might even take back with the queen. Try and trade. I'm up 2 pieces, so. Sometimes I think Mr. Vrlvich is maybe overthinking this a little bit. He should have taken that piece. He should have taken the bishop, right? It wasn't a trick. I was just simplifying. And now, it's 2 bishops and a knight against the solo bishop, and look at his pawns. All over the shop. Should he take the knight? No. Probably not. Drop back, something like that. Then I do have this, which is pretty nasty. Then maybe I want to get my queen. I don't know. Something like that. That's. Oh, that was my previous video. Yeah, it's kind of slow. So queen in here, king there. Sorry, knight there. Maybe that, but that's really a wing and a prayer chess. I could just push the H pawn up. Keep doing that. But he's definitely he's up against the ropes now. This guy. Now, if I put bishop here, can't stay where she is, can't go there because of knight. There, yeah, trade off. Goes back here, trade off. I don't know. What I'm looking at is actually this square, because that's a fork on king and rook. That would be nice. But the queen's currently defending that square, so I'm going to just try and tickle the queen and get her to go somewhere else. In which case I have another kind of winning move. Also opens up my rook on the d file. Okay, so we trade queens. I'm ahead in material, makes perfect sense. Pawn must take. Then I'm going to come in here and win the rook. And it is all over bar the shouting. So now with the full rook and a bishop, and opponent, now I can force, this is a fork defended by my rook. You see, just notice the fact that my rook was on open file. It's all just information. Get the information in, must sit about, see what you see. And that just hangs the bishop. Just clumsy play. This pawn hangs, this pawn is undefended. It's certainly resignable at this point. So we started out thinking we were going to get a London, then we got a Latvian, which is kind of the reverse of the Vienna Gambit, and then we got Vienna Gambit, which is really cool. This is my idea. Always good to line up some general ideas when it's your opponent's turn. A good piece of advice is to do your strategic thinking on your opponent's time and your tactical thinking on your own. Okay, this is not a worry. I'm not bothered about this. Can just propose to trade rooks. If the pawn advances, I've got this, but I've also got both covered. Right. Okay, let's push the pawn forward. That then gives me the option of rook here, check. King will have to retreat to one of these squares. There I can check him. There I can advance the pawn. Okay, well this is... I can throw this in anyway, to be honest. Probably take this on the next turn. Oh, how would I hang the pawn? Hang on. No point giving up this pawn. Let's try and save this pawn. Right, bishop, king here. I don't want to go there because he then attacks my bishop and then I've got problems. So I'm going to block the pawn, take with the rook. Even play my bishop up here or here. Oh, that would force this, wouldn't it? Then I've got another check there. And king goes there. I think we might have ideas here. Okay, now pawn forward. He has to come here. That hits the... This isn't far off mate. Now he's got to go into there, hasn't he? If I can defend this pawn, then g3 would be mate. There's only one legal move. He's got to go here. He's got 8 seconds though. Right, let's do that. Thinking of this. Okay, one on time. Anyway, interesting stuff. So yeah, if you like the Vienna Gambit, which I very, very much suggest, it's very effective at the beginner and improving levels. People get a bit more canny about it from 1400, 1500, but it's still perfectly sound. So if you like the Vienna, look into the Latvian. Do recommend it. All right, guys, thanks for watching. See you later.